Hey, Potterheads, and welcome to episode 10 of the Secret Keepers podcast, covering Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, chapters 14 through 16. Previously on the Secret Keepers.
Like that?
That is not what any of my bells ever sounded like.
What? That's what my bell was like. All right, Jared, what do yours sound like?
Ding-a-ling-ling! You think babies speak parcel mouth? Based off these three chapters, I'm going to say eventually Malfoy and Harry are going to work together to defeat you-know-who.
No one knows how he survived the attack by you-know-who. Only a really powerful dark wizard could have survived a curse like that.
It's Justin, Finch, Fletchley, and Nearly Headless Nick, both petrified. But from time to time, they are referred to by muggles as a big red flamingo.
I must ask you, Harry, whether there is anything you'd like to tell me. Anything at all.
If you could Polyjuice Potion into one person for an hour, who would it be?
Jennifer Aniston.
Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Tom Riddle. How did you come by my diary?
And the chapter ends with Harry telling Ron that it was Hagrid that opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years ago.
This is the Secret Keepers. Hey everybody, editing Colin here. Yep, it's me, not Taylor. Just want to let you know we had a little bit of audio difficulties on this episode, but we're looking into it to fix it for the next one. So, apologies, but hope you enjoy.
Ready? Testing. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the Secret Keepers podcast covering chapters 14 through 16. I think we're doing. I'm not supposed to say that part right now, but anyways, last we left off on a huge cliffhanger. But before we get into that, any news anybody wants to share for the day?
First day of fall.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep,
nice.
sure is.
Fresh
Feels
off a
like
nice
summer though.
We're fresh off a nice softball dub the other night. Pounded them like 19-3. Taylor 3 for 3 with that dad strength.
Yep.
What a beast.
Just poking them in the center field.
Just ripping them.
Jared was 3 for 3 too.
Yeah, but you're always 3 for 3, so
That was
it's
an
not as big of a deal.
He reached on an error, but we're not. He likes to whine about that. Anyways, let's jump into this episode here. So Jared, hit us with that 30-second summary. Go.
All right, chapters 14 through 16, as Colin mentioned when he was not supposed to. Chapter 14 is Cornelius Fudge. Harry's diary is stolen, Hermione is petrified, and Harry and Ron go and visit Hagrid, in which there's a meeting between Dumbledore, Cornelius Fudge, Malfoy, and Hagrid. Chapter 15, Harry and Ron follow spiders into the Forbidden Forest. And Chapter 16, Harry figures out that the monster is a giant snake, and it lives inside the plumbing. Harry, Ron, Lockhart enter the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Last we left off, like I said, on a huge cliffhanger with Harry telling Ron that Hagrid was the one that opened the Chamber of Secrets, and you heard all Jared's predictions on that in the last episode. This chapter opens with Harry thinking about what he had just seen and thinking about how Hagrid has a history with some large beasts, and he recalls how Hagrid was expelled, and he reasons that this was probably the reason, that being having the large beasts and opening the Chamber of Secrets and all that. So Hermione comes up with the idea that for them to just go ask Hagrid, which, brilliant, great idea, but they decide not to do that unless there's another attack. So they're just going to hold off on that. But just as they agree to that, it seems the attacks stop, and then we read that over 4 months go by since the last attack, and everyone's starting to feel pretty comfortable again. So one morning, Harry comes back from Quidditch practice, and he finds that someone has torn through his trunks up in his room and his robes, and he has taken the Riddle diary. They go tell Hermione, and she's shocked by this, but they have no idea who it could be. But they know one thing. It had to be a Gryffindor. Jared, who do you think it is?
I don't know anybody from Gryffindor.
Oh, man. All right, well, I'll go through the people that we know. There's all the Weasleys. So Percy, Fred, George, Ron,
Seamus.
Ginny. There's Seamus. There's Neville.
Finnegan.
There's Neville. There's Hermione. Let's see what other ones do we know. Oliver Wood.
Don't we find out it's Ginny? Well, we don't know for sure, but isn't she the one? Doesn't she get petrified?
She gets taken to the chamber.
Oh, she gets taken into the
Way
chamber?
later. You're jumping way ahead, though.
Yeah, well, I read 3 chapters.
Okay, so are you? Yeah, but we're not to that spot yet.
Oh,
Okay, I guess. So
how am I supposed to make a prediction inside of a chapter about what's happening in the end of a chapter when I've read?
All right. So you think it's Ginny?
No. Okay. I don't know. I gotta think about this before I commit.
You didn't see this question coming?
No.
Oh man.
I actually thought about it during my making my summary, but that's about
5
it.
minutes ago.
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago. Sure, let's go with Ginny
Why?
Under what basis?
because she ends up later. She wants to tell Harry and Ron something. So she knows something, and that's the only person that I know that knows something from Gryffindor. Maybe Percy? Is Percy from Gryffindor?
Percy's from Gryffindor.
He could be an alternate option.
Okay. So it's definitely not Ginny, or maybe Percy. Got it. So the next morning after breakfast, the squad is heading out to Quidditch, and Harry hears the voice again and tells Ron and Hermione,
Kill this time. Let me rip. Dare.
yeah. So after Harry tells, let me start that over. I just burped again. So after Harry tells Ron and Hermione about the voice, Hermione has a little bit of a eureka moment. She tells them she has to run off to the library. So Ron and Harry head off to the Quidditch pitch, and just as they're about to start, McGonagall comes and calls off the game. And she gathers Ron and Harry and says that they better come with her. McGonagall takes them over to the hospital wing and tells them that there's been another attack. And not just one attack, but a double attack. Jared, at this point, did you know that it was Hermione that was attacked?
Yeah, I kind of came to that conclusion.
Did you think she was dead?
No.
No, just petrified.
So far, nobody has
It's
died.
a children's book. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Well, so yeah, they walk over to one of the beds, and it's Hermione, and all she has with her was a mirror. What do you think about that, Jared? Any significance or no?
Well, obviously I know later, but no.
Did we get to that later?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay. At this point, there wasn't, though. Okay.
Yeah, I had no clue.
I did these chapters in like 3 different segments, so that's probably why that question's there, because I wasn't up to it in the later portion. But anyways, so back at the common room, McGonagall lays out all the new school rules. But Hogwarts still doesn't close, even though there's been like 7 attacks, because there's no safer place than Hogwarts.
Obviously.
So in the common room, Fred and George are making a bunch of accusations against the Slytherins, and everyone is feeling it and getting with them on it, except for Percy, who's pretty pale. It's also suspected that because the other person attacked was a prefect, that this is why Percy's pretty pale. Do you think that's the case, Jared?
Yeah, I went with that. Sounded good to me.
There's nothing mischievous under Percy's wings going on?
I mean, he might be up to something, but I don't view him as a big potential threat.
Okay. Yeah, so Harry can't stop thinking about spending the rest of his life at the Dursleys if the monster isn't caught. So he decided with Ron to get the invisibility cloak out and go have a visit with Hagrid. Harry and Ron show up to Hagrid's door, and they knock on the door, and they're greeted with a crossbow in their face in a very uneasy Hagrid. So here's a question open to anybody. Why does Hagrid have a crossbow? Like, what was he expecting he needed that for? I never really put this together.
Well, maybe he thought, well, they take him away, right?
Yeah, they do shortly after this, but he's gonna kill Cornelius Fudge.
Well, I don't know, maybe we learn in a later book, perhaps, that there could have been some other thing that would have come to get him. Hint, hint.
I'm trying to think of what you're saying, but I don't recall. We'll have to
Starts
talk
with
after.
a D and rhymes with Rementors.
Okay. I don't know that a crossbow would do much for that, but maybe.
I don't know, maybe.
Interesting thing.
This is all about my pay grade.
Anyways, just as they're about to question Hagrid, there's another knock on the door, and it's Dumbledore and Cornelius Fudge. Fudge comes in and tells Hagrid he needs to be taken in, especially after 4 attacks and Hagrid's record. He had to do something, so he's going to take him to Azkaban, which is wizard prison. But Dumbledore fully states he's in complete disagreement with this decision.
Did you hear Maddie say they're crispy now?
Yeah, I did.
You can't edit that out.
Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes. So Dumbledore's on Hagrid's side in this. And then, just then, Lucius Malfoy pops in with a signed document from the school governors that they want Dumbledore suspended as well. So Dumbledore comes peacefully. He agrees to come peacefully. But he does make this statement before he leaves.
However,
Said Dumbledore, speaking very slowly and clearly so that none of them could miss a word.
you will find that I will only have truly left this school when none here are loyal to me. You will also find that help will always be given to Hogwarts.
Crap.
You will also find that help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it.
You just had Dumbledore, your voice just went from 90 to 60 to 20 to 70 again, all in one sentence. He says this, and Harry is fairly confident that it's directed at him as Dumbledore glances their direction when he says it. And then just before Hagrid leaves, he also drops his parting statement.
If anyone wanted to find out some stuff, all they'd have to do was to follow the spiders. That'd lead them right. That's all I'm saying. Which would be a really weird thing for someone to randomly say if they're getting taken into custody.
That would be so weird. I'd be looking at this guy like, this dude is nutters. Oh, man.
Well, he is.
I guess. And then the chapter ends with Ron exclaiming that if they take Dumbledore, there will be killings within a day. So, Jared, what were your thoughts at this point? Hagrid's gone, Dumbledore's gone, Lucius is making his move on the school, there's killings coming. Did you have any thoughts at this point?
Well, I was trying to think of how I could connect Lucius with Voldemort. So Lucius was connected with the dark, with dark magic or dark evil or with Voldemort before, right?
Yep.
It just seems like Voldemort is using Malfoy to get rid of some of the people in power. Because I don't think Malfoy in himself has enough power to do anything, but it's like a tool right now.
Okay, Taylor, what were you saying? Sorry, we just had some technical difficulties getting back into it. Jared said something about Malfoy.
Jared, are you saying that the Ministry of Magic is corrupt?
Of course, it's corrupt. Yes, I think it's corrupt.
They're watching. Yeah, cover your cameras. Cover them. Don't let them see. Let me take my shirt off for you, government. Let's see how you like that. I'll leave that on. My kids someday are going to be like, what are you doing, Dad?
Anyways, yes, I
any
think Ministry of Magic is corrupt.
Okay. Any other questions you had for Jared at this point, Taylor?
No.
Okay, we kind of got cut off there. Then we'll move on to the next chapter. Chapter 15, Aragog. Summer is rolling in, but with Dumbledore and Hagrid gone, it seems like everyone is in a tense sense of fear. Harry keeps running through his head what Dumbledore told him before he left, but he can't understand it, and he and Ron aren't allowed to visit Hermione anymore, and they also can't find any spiders to follow as Hagrid had told them. They get to potions class, and Malfoy is popping off about how happy he is that Dumbledore's gone and how he hopes a mudblood gets killed. And Ron's getting a little bit testy at him about it, which is understandable if you're hoping someone in your class gets killed. That's pretty bad. But after potions, they go to herbology, where Ernie Macmillan apologizes to Harry on page 268. This is just for you, Taylor.
Oh, boy.
Doing your Ernie voice.
Might need a couple practice rounds. I just want to say, Harry, that I'm sorry we ever expected you. I know you never attacked Hermione Granger, and I apologize for all the stuff I said. We're on the same boat now, and, well, he held out a pudgy hand. How fitting. And Harry shook it.
Why is that so fitting?
I'm a pudgy boy. I have skinny hands though.
Yeah, you do. Chicken legs. So during this class, Harry spots some spiders and points them out to Ron, and it's clear that they are headed out to the Forbidden Forest, which of course they are. So Harry and Ron decide in defense against the dark arts that day that they need to go out to the forest that night under the invisibility cloak. So that night they head out under the invisibility cloak, they grab Fang, and they head into the forest following the spiders, and it leads them off the path, which Hagrid had told them to never leave. So as the forest grows thicker and slopes downward, they hear a noise. Fang howls, and all of a sudden two very bright lights shine at them. And what is it, Jared?
The car.
The car. Yes, Mr. Weasley's car. And just as Ron settles down from this little scare, he shrieks as he and Harry are grabbed by a pair of hairy legs and swept off into the forest. So Harry gets his wits about him after a little bit and realizes that he's being carried by something that has 6 legs, and that Ron and Fang were both also being carried. So they pop out into the moonlight, and Harry's stomach just drops as he sees a giant spiders everywhere.
Wait, time out. How many legs does a spider have?
They have 8 legs.
8 legs?
They're supposed to. They're
This is
arachnids.
6 legs, and then 2 are carrying him.
Oh, right.
All right. Okay.
They just got their big hairy legs right under his armpits, carrying him through the forest, you know?
Just cradling them like a baby.
Magic.
Yeah. So the spiders are carrying the 3, drop them, and the one holding Harry starts calling out for Aragog. So an elephant-sized spider crawls out of a web in the middle of the clearing, and being blind, asks what was going on, and who answers him, Jared?
No.
Crikeys! Welcome to Merlin Irwin's Magical Creatures Podcast within a podcast. And crikeys, look at the size of that. Is an acromantula, and that is a 5X beast, meaning it's a known wizard killer. These incredible beasts are native to Borneo and were wizard bred with the intention of guarding treasure hoards. These creatures are capable of speaking to humans, but don't get too chummy with them as you may end up being their lunch. These beasts are known for capturing their prey, wrapping them up, and injecting them with venom from their pincers, which, I can tell you, sells for 100 galleons a pint. These acromantulas fear no creature other than the basilisk because of its killer gaze, and the acromantulas have many eyes, making them quite vulnerable. In general, avoid these creatures, so you best be on your way. That's all I got, and good luck!
Very nice. I got one question for you.
Yeah,
How many of these have you done so far?
I don't even know why.
And are you making these up as you go?
Yeah,
Are you serious? You're not getting this from some book?
I'm just making it up.
Sheesh. That's pretty good. Kudos.
You see that one coming?
I did when you said that's like the tell for when Merlin Irwin's coming is who answers them, Jared? or who talks next, Jared?
I guess
But it gets Jared every time, so it's so great.
I'll have to throw in a few more of that question just to throw him off a little bit.
Yeah, one of these times Jared will say Merlin.
Yeah. So the spiders actually are the ones that do talk next after Merlin leaves, and they tell him that they brought men. And Aragog orders them and asks if it's Hagrid, to which they say no, so he orders them killed. But Harry pipes up and tells them that Hagrid sent them and that he's in trouble. And they think that Hagrid has been setting something on the students, and Aragog tells his story. Taylor, you want to give us Aragog's story? I'm very curious to hear your spider voice.
How much do
Okay.
you think an elephant-sized spider eats in a day?
That's a lot of little 12-year-old boys. I'd say about 4 or 5 boys a day.
That's like 6 million mosquitoes a day for real.
Okay, Aragog's story. So Harry asks if he came from the Chamber of Secrets, because Harry knows nothing. And Aragog said, I was not born in the castle. I come from a distant land. A traveler gave me to Hagrid when I was an egg. Hagrid was only a boy, but he cared for me, hidden in a cupboard in the castle, feeding me on scraps from the table. Hagrid is my good friend and a good man. When I was discovered and blamed for the death of a girl, he protected me. I have lived here in the forest ever since, where Hagrid still visits me. He even found me a wife, Mosag. And you see how our family has grown, all through Hagrid's goodness.
You want me to go? So you never attacked anyone? That's gonna be Harry.
Oh man, you would sound a lot more scared than that.
Okay, so you never attacked anyone?
Never. Croak. Oh, croak. How does a spider croak?
Never. It would have been in my interest. It would have been my instinct. But out of respect for Hagrid, I never harmed a human. The body of the girl who was killed was discovered in a bathroom.
Hint, hint.
I never saw any part of the castle but the cupboard in which I grew up. I kind of like the dark and the quiet.
But then do you know what killed that girl? Because whatever it is it back and attacking people again?
His words were drowned out by a loud outbreak of clicking and the rustling of many long legs shifting angrily.
That thing that lives in the castle. is an ancient creature we spiders feared above all others. All I do remember how I pleaded with Hagrid to let me go when I sensed the beast moving around the castle, around the school.
What is it?
We do not speak of it. We do not name it. I never even told Hagrid the name of that dread creature, though he asked me many times.
Yeah, so then all the spiders start getting all pinchery, clicky, because they're getting a little nervous. So Harry just says, we'll just go then.
Sorry to bother you.
And Aragog responds by, where is that?
My sons and daughters do not harm Hagrid on my command, but I cannot deny them fresh meat when it wanders so willingly into our midst. Goodbye, friend of Hagrid.
I don't think that spiders would just talk like humans. That's so strange.
Acromantulas can.
What?
Acromantulas can.
Whatever.
Not spiders, but acromantulas because they're bred by wizards.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. We learned that from Merlin.
Yeah, if you were listening, it can talk to humans. That's the whole point of that bit, Taylor.
God. Oh, got it.
So Harry spins to grab his wand and run, but there's no time, and it all seems lost when a loud blast and a gleam of light bursts into the scene, and it's Mr. Weasley's car. So the car bowls over a few spiders, and Harry and Ron and Fang all jump inside it, and it takes off all of its own accord. And then after running over a few spiders and dodging a few trees, the car spits them out safely outside the forest. So what have we learned here? We have learned that Harry and Ron have discovered that according to Aragog, Hagrid was not the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets, and he was wrongly accused. That night in bed, Harry's spinning around what Aragog had told him in his head about the girl who died in the bathroom, and the chapter ends with Ron and Harry suspecting that the girl was none other than Moaning Myrtle. Jared, how about all this that we just got from Aragog about Myrtle? What were your thoughts at this point as to what's going on and who's opening the chamber now, or what the monster was?
Well, it all seemed to line up. I was still thinking that it's still as Voldemort. Somehow.
Not working through spiders anymore, though.
No, he's not working through spiders, but the spiders are now scared of him. And so that he was still slinking around. The one thing that confused me in this chapter was how did the car know that those guys were in trouble?
It's a Ford.
Because, Jared, otherwise Harry would die, and we can't have that in the second book because there's so much money.
Well, it's got to make sense or it's dumb.
It's the spidey senses were tingling.
All right, whatever.
Magic. So at this point, when they said that the spiders, it's a creature the spiders do not speak of, did you have any thoughts as to what the creature was now, or did you not really think much about it?
I thought it was Voldemort. That nobody speaks of him, not even the spiders.
Okay. Then we jump down into chapter 16, The Chamber of Secrets. The one we've all been waiting for, right? Wrong, because we don't get to the climax of the book yet. Anyways. The chapter opens with them trying to find a way to sneak away to chat with Myrtle. And here they hear that exams are in a week because they're still in school after all.
Exams? Alex Jameis. We'll see how good in exams. Is that my Jameis voice? I don't know.
That was really good, Taylor. That's your Irish impersonation?
Oh, he's Irish, isn't he? I'm not redoing that.
Okay. Yeah, a couple days later, McGonagall tells them that the mandrakes will be ready that night.
How convenient.
Yeah. So those who are petrified will be healed soon and be able to tell them who is doing all of the attacking. So just after this announcement, Ginny comes and sits next to Harry, looking like Dobby, about to reveal something important to him. But just as she's about to say something, Percy shows up, and his appearance, frightens her away, and she scampers off. So while Ron presses Percy on this, why she's running away and stuff, he tells them that what she was going to tell them was nothing related to the Chamber of Secrets for sure, and that she had just walked in on him the other day when he was doing something, and he asked her not to tell it to anybody, and that it wasn't a big deal. Jared, what do you think Percy was doing?
Man, I kind of read right over that.
I know what he was doing.
I thought it was something connected with all this when I read it, but now that you're going a little slower, it could be some. Oh, I don't know. I thought Percy was just trying to figure out information on it by himself, and I also did not connect when I read it the first time that Ginny had discovered something with Percy, but I thought Ginny had discovered something on her own.
Okay, so does that change your guess as to who took Harry's diary?
Sure, let's make it Percy.
Okay, so you don't think Percy was doing anything nefarious then?
I don't know what that word means.
Anything bad?
He could have been mixing up a potion or something, but I don't.
Okay, so nothing nefarious then. Okay. So on their way to the next class with Lockhart, Harry and Ron talk their way out of an escort, and they head to go talk to Moaning Myrtle when they run into McGonagall. So Harry lies and tells her that they were going on their way to visit Hermione, and McGonagall buys it, surprisingly. So she escorts them to the hospital wing. So while sitting near Hermione, they see a note stuck in her hand, and they pull it out, and it reads the following.
Of the many fearsome beasts and monsters that roam our land, there is none more curious or more deadly than the basilisk, known also as the king of serpents, the snake, which may reach gigantic size of many hundreds of years, is born from a chicken's egg, hatched beneath a toad. What the world? Its methods of killing are most wondrous, for aside from its deadly and venomous fangs, the basilisk has a murderous stare, and all who are fixed with the beam of its eye shall suffer instant death. Spiders flee before the basilisk, for it is their mortal enemy, and the basilisk flees only from the crowing of the rooster, which is fatal to it.
And then
Flashback!
Beneath this, a single word was handwritten by Hermione, which says pipes. So Ron and Harry start piecing everything together, along with Jared at this point, because Jared's starting to throw everything together. So they say that the creature is a basilisk, which is why Harry can hear it, because it talks like a snake, and that all the petrifications were because they never looked directly at the gaze, and that it's moving around the schools, or moving around through the school's plumbing, and they suspect there is another parseltongue in the school, and that the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. So what do you think about all that, Jared?
And the rooster thing.
We didn't get to that yet.
Oh,
But
Well,
sure.
it
And
all
the
lines
rooster.
up. I could still see there being a curveball here, but
So you're convinced it's a basilisk now? Did you look up a basilisk at all?
no, I don't look up anything.
That's good of you, Jared.
good boy.
It is more convincing to me than it being Hagrid. Everything lines up. I still think that maybe Voldemort or something is inside the snake or something.
You think Voldemort can live inside snakes?
Sure,
Okay.
magic.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess the only thing I had a question here about is what about the other partial tongue in the school? Any ideas?
Couldn't that be Voldemort inside the snake?
I guess, yeah. Okay. So on their way to tell McGonagall their discoveries, they hear that everyone must return to their dorms at once. And they kind of get stuck in like a closet or something. So they're doing a little eavesdropping. And they hear McGonagall say that there's been another attack and that they left this message. Her skeleton will live in the Chamber of Secrets forever. So McGonagall says it's finally happened. A student has been taken into the chamber. And it's none other than who, Jared?
Ginny.
Why you sound so cheerful about that?
Well, because I said it earlier.
Yeah, okay. Just then Lockhart bursts in asking what he's missed, and then the teachers tell him all the news that's happened, and it seems that his time has come, because it turns out he's been mouthing off to all the teachers about how he knows where the chamber is and what the monster is and how to kill it and all that. So they tell him that now is the perfect time, and so he heads off to his office to prepare. As they're waiting in the common room, Ron surmises that Ginny must have known something about the chamber, and that's why she was taking, seeing as she's a pureblood, and there's no reason that a pureblood would get attacked. Do you agree with that take, Jared?
Sure.
Okay. So they decide to go tell Lockhart what they know in effort to help him. And when they get to his office, he has nearly packed everything up, ready to leave. And here we learn what his little shtick is. And that is he's really good at memory charms. So he's taken credit for everybody else's work, erased their memories, and claimed it as his own. Jared, do you see anything like this coming? Did you see this coming?
No, but it does make sense. Seems like Lockhart to me.
So just as he's about to head out, Harry Expelliarmuses, is that how you would say that? He
Expelliarmusified.
He Expelliarmusified him, and they take him and Ron, take him
How
to
come
go
we don't
talk
just
to
start
Moni.
laughing at Colin when he pronounces it badly?
We haven't had a good one of those in a while.
You ask me, and you know how to pronounce it, and you guys just laugh. Colin says, Expelliarmus, and no one says a word. Yeah, sure, sounds good.
Well, it's because it's like the present participle of Expelliarmus, and no one knows what that is.
Good excuse.
I took English once. Well, anyways, Ron and Harry take him to Moaning Myrtle, where what happens? Oh yeah, they go talk to Moaning Myrtle, and Harry asks Moaning Myrtle how she died. Taylor, do you want to do a voice impersonation of Moaning Myrtle?
Of Moaning Myrtle? Why me? Just because my name's a girl name?
You're the voice guy. We don't have to do it. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's fine. What page am I on?
I don't know. I didn't write it down because I didn't think you'd want to.
Oh, okay. What am I talking about?
Oh, it's you.
She said when she saw Harry.
What do you want this time?
To ask you how you died.
It happened right in here. I died in this very stall. I remember it so well. I'd hidden because Olive Hornby was teasing me about my glasses. The door was locked and I was crying. Then I heard somebody come in. Then they said something. They said something funny, a different language. I think it might have been. Anyways, really got me there was a boy speaking. So I unlocked the door to tell him to go and use his own toilet, and then I died. No idea. I just remember seeing a big pair of big yellow eyes.
So Harry asks her where she saw the eyes, and she points over to a sink. And then after some examination, Harry finds that it has a snake etched into it. So Ron tells him to say something in parseltongue. So Harry says, "Open up," in parseltongue. Jared, what? Jared, oh, shoot. I was going to have Jared do it.
Oh, well, Jared can try.
Jared, what does open
I'm pretty
up?
sure mine's the same thing every time.
What was mine last time?
You didn't say it last time. So you
What?
open up in parcel tongue, Jared.
Whap, whap.
So Harry says, "Blah, blah, blah." And the sink drops into the floor, and a large pipe is revealed. So Harry and Ron decide that they're going to go down, and Ron just pushes Lockhart down the hole first. So they slide
He's
down.
collateral damage.
Yeah.
That's
So they
pretty like diabolical for a 12-year-old to bring a professor along as collateral damage.
I mean,
Here,
really,
come with us, and then we'll just push you down so we don't get hurt. So you get hurt and not us.
it could have literally been murder what Ron just did. Let's not pretend here. So yeah, they slide down the pipe and they come out in a tunnel that seems to be under the Great Lake. So as they're walking, Harry reminds them that at any sign of moment to close their eyes right away. They continue down the tunnel and find a great big green snakeskin that was over 20 feet long. And Lockhart pretends to faint and falls to the ground. So Ron's kind of just poking him with his wand, telling him to get up. And as he does, Lockhart quick steals Ron's wand and gets up. And then he stands up and tells the boys what his plan of escape is. Page 303, Taylor.
Oh boy, I don't remember my Lockhart. Oh, it's me, isn't he?
It's you.
The adventure ends here, boys. He said, I shall take a bit of this skin back up to the school, tell them I was too late to save the girl, and that you two tragically lost your minds at the sight of her mangled body. Say goodbye to your memories. Obliviate!
He casts Obliviate on them, but it backfires. And part of the ceiling caves in, leaving Harry separated from Ron and Lockhart. Do you have any fast facts about this spell? Let me see. Nope. Other than that's what the wizards use to modify the minds of muggles who have seen evidence of the wizarding world. So like I said, Jared, dragons are real. You've seen one. It just got erased from your memory. So it's no use trying to get all the rocks out of the way because it would take too much time and they don't have that time. So Harry proceeds on by himself.
Obliviate. Oh, there go the rocks. What a dumb book.
How convenient that Harry got on one side, Ron got on the other side of the rocks. So Harry could go face on whatever.
Come talking to my mic.
Whatever's in the chain.
Do it.
No, I'm not doing that.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Taylor, do it. Do it.
No, I'm
Your
not
mic.
doing that.
Struggle up here, boy.
No, it's fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, keep going.
We'll cut that out. Taylor's mic's freaking out. Let's see. Yeah, so it's no use getting the rocks out of the way. So Harry, of course, he proceeds on by himself. And at the end of the tunnel, he finds a wall with serpents carved into it. So once again, he stops to say, open up in parseltongue, which is what, Jared?
Whap and up.
Yeah, and the snakes part, and he walks in. And that is how the chapter ends. So, Jared, where are you at on all this? Is Ginny still alive?
Yes. She's bait.
Okay. So you think the heir of Slytherin is? We don't know who that is yet.
Nope, I don't know who that is yet.
Okay. Any ideas to what all is behind this wall?
A snake
Just a snake.
and Voldemort and maybe things he's collected.
Like a treasure?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, a treasure that he's going to use as his powers.
Okay.
Unicorns. Unicorn blood.
Okay.
It's his
Harry
gas
try-
tank.
How do you think Harry's gonna defeat whatever's in there by himself?
Well, I think Harry has more powers than would have been what Harry knows and what and what we know. Like, how did Harry beat Voldemort when he was a baby? He didn't use anything. So
Yeah,
he
but
can
this
use
is
the
a
same
snake.
thing.
This isn't Voldemort.
Oh, it's gonna be Voldemort.
Snake's gonna be Voldemort.
I said Voldemort's living in the snake.
Well, that's right. You did say that.
But even if it's a snake, if he speaks snake, I'm assuming he has different powers than the normal human being that sees snakes. So I'm gonna guess that he can probably even see the snake and be fine.
Okay. So, do you think that Ginny's gonna help him at all?
Yeah, sure. I like that. I like that theory. I wouldn't have said that without you saying it, but sure. I like that one.
Okay. Well, I guess it's like, if you think he needs help, then that would be one person he could get help from, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that Ron and Lockhart will somehow get through and help him?
Yes. I
You
don't
just
think
keep-
they took Lockhart down there. I don't know. Lockhart seems useless, but there's got to be a reason why he's down in this pit with them, other than saying obliviate.
Sure.
Well, he formed the rock wall that led Harry to go on himself. That's why he was there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. I think there's more to it than that. What? I don't know. Because
Okay.
it seems like Ron or Lockhart can't do a thing besides say obliviate. But I guess I'll find out.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll find out in the next chapter. See, I don't have any other cliffhanger questions that we need to ask at this point. Taylor, do you have anything?
How do
We've
you
estab-
think the flamingo comes into this? It's on the cover of the book.
Didn't we find the flamingo already?
Yeah, we found the flamingo. It burst into flames and then it rebirthed itself.
So Harry's gonna grab it by the tail and then fly out of the chamber? That'd be interesting.
So then he's not going to defeat the snake?
I don't know. There's more books after this, so I'm trying to think of like how to make the story go on without. So like my theory would be Voldemort's living in the snake. Voldemort would still live on. The snake. What happened when in the last book when Voldemort left whatever the two-headed dude was, Quirrell?
Yeah, didn't he fly off as some half ghost spirit kind of thing?
I don't know. My theory, I think that Harry will beat the snake, but that there's more to it than just a snake. Ultimately, is what I'm going to say.
And you have no guesses as to who the heir of Slytherin is. Do you think the heir of Slytherin could tie into who took the diary back from Harry?
Sure. Seems plausible.
So then,
but no, Percy is not the heir of Slytherin.
Is Ginny the heir of Slytherin?
I don't have any reasoning that I could defend saying yes or no to that answer.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the heir of Slytherin could be anybody to me at this point. I would not be surprised if it was about anybody in this book.
Well, it's probably someone in the book.
Dumbledore?
It's not Dumbledore. Although if they somehow connected it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Well, we can. I guess we can just end that one here, and we'll find out next time what. Oh, we got to do the thing where you turn the page and you judge the next section by the picture. Chapter 17 is called "The Heir of Slytherin." Any ideas what that cover looks? What the picture there is? For those, I guess, Jared, describe the picture first.
So it looks like it's a flower well, not really a flower, a petal sticking out of a thing of mud that's locked. And there's feathers floating down. And this, what the world? Maybe it's a tooth. Kind of looks like a tooth. But mud is coming out of this box that kind of looks like a book that is locked. And then there's feathers coming down on top of this. And the thing that is inside this box or touching the box looks like a tooth or a flower petal or a trumpet or who knows what.
Okay. Does that mean
And I
anything
don't
to you?
know how that's tied in with the aerosol.
Okay.
What is the thing? What is it? Looks like a what? A box?
It looks like a flower pot box that has a book on the side of it. Well, a book.
A book.
It looks more like a book than
Okay.
a box.
Huh. Interesting.
A diary,
What-
maybe.
what kind- A diary. Whoa.
A diary of sorts that has a what the world?
And that's a wrap, folks. We will get you on the flip side. From everybody here at the Casa de Mulder, we'll see you next time. And as always, we solemnly swear we'll be up to no good.